Hello. It has been a minute. Hello, my name is Amy. This is Mimi Stitchery. This is my FlossTube channel. Um, it's going to be about lots of things today. It's going to be about life, why I haven't been on since February, um, cross stitching, knitting, um, and the life stuff I'm just going to do right out of the gate. I know most people wait to the end. But if you're not interested in the life things, you can fast forward till you see me start holding up projects. And if I think about it in my editing, I will put the timestamp down in the description box. Matter of fact, let's make myself a note. Welcome if you're new here. If you've stumbled across this channel for the first time, I welcome you. This is not how I usually sound. If for those of you that are longtime viewers, thank you. Many of you have reached out to me via social media to make sure that I'm okay. I am fine. Life is just what it is. Do you know what I mean? I am, let's see, married mom of four, grandma to four, with a very busy life, and I am a professor of nursing at a local nursing college, which keeps me fairly busy. Yeah, so spring semester for me is hugely busy. My spring semester runs from January to May, which this year it just seems to be busy. It's a busy semester. I talk to my other faculty members, they feel the same. It's just busy. There's a lot of other things, and I needed to prioritize family a bit more than usual. We had a son move to Hawaii in January. Um, I should say that this is Thursday, July 31st. I go back to work tomorrow, so today is the day for this. I woke up with a head cold. Um, of course I did. And it's raining outside, so the lighting stinks. But I'm going to try to edit this video, so it probably will not go up today. Today is going to be an overall WIP parade as soon as I'm done rambling about my life. Lots of stuff happening. You know, my son moved to Hawaii in January. My daughter and son-in-law went full-time on the road in, I think it was early May. My husband and I have decided to source our food differently, so we have spent a lot of time getting local beef, local pork. We raised some meat chickens and had somebody butcher them for us. We put in a garden. I am on a health journey. The sourcing of the food was the first step to that. Eating better, and doing some of the things that are healthy for me, like movement, is the second step, and that's what I'm working on now. I've been fermenting vegetables. We're trying that out. I have been making sourdough. I have been cooking most of our meals at home from scratch from locally sourced food, which at this time of year is not a big challenge because I have farmers all around me that have vegetable stands, and I can get pretty much anything that's in season pretty readily available to me. I have my apple cider vinegar morning drink that I have now incorporated in my schedule. I have a sore throat and runny nose, so I could potentially have to pause this to blow my nose. But I figured, what the hey, let's do it anyway. And I keep knocking the table, so I keep knocking the camera. We have 16 egg layer chickens here on the property now. We have a rooster that we were going to keep because there was a local sighting of bear in the area. I'm not sure I want to keep him anymore, so we're reaching out to kind of see if somebody else would like to have him. And we've been traveling, so we've been camping a lot this summer. We traveled to Portland, Oregon, and went to visit my cousin in Brush Prairie, Washington, along with my sister and my other cousins from my dad's side of the family. We spent a week out there just chilling with them and reconnecting. And this was the first year that we've all gotten together like that. And we are going to do it, I think, every year. And I think we're going to swap coasts. We have some of us on the West Coast and some of us here on the East Coast. And so I think next year we're going to have it here on the East Coast. So that was a load of fun. Air travel back was a little bit challenging, but we got home. We ended up driving part of our leg, which really for us was not an issue since we RV and we do longer trips in the RV anyway. But yeah, weather, you can't really predict that and what it's going to do to air travel. Matt and I are trying to eliminate chemicals from our diet, so you will notice I am makeup free today. I will be living my life, relatively makeup free. My skin does better that way. Just on a mission to get rid of some of the chemicals and some of the things that aren't food that are in our food, and all those hippie things that become ultimately important as you don't pay much attention to those, I don't think, as you're young, but as you get older and you start looking at retirement, which I am looking at in the very near future. I would like to be as healthy as I can be in my retirement. So, all the things. I have not filmed since February, so I figured this video should be probably a WIP parade. I'd like to edit it with photos from my end of year WIP parade that I filmed, I think in December of 24, to see what I've worked on. I can't honestly tell you that I've touched all of these projects. I know I have some new starts in here. I don't know. I can't even tell you what I have finished this year, although I have finished things. I just can't tell you what they are. I stopped tracking back in February when everything got busy and decided to just lean into my craft and enjoy it. So I am very much doing that. That being said, very recently, I have decided that I am going to focus on finishing some projects. I have too many WIPs. When I edit this video, I'm going to count them and see how many WIPs I have. It's more than I'd like. So I need to finish some things, which is really unfortunate because I just watched Stash Fest video from Lindy Stitches. There's some new designers that I really, really like. I have a ton of things kitted here that I would love to stitch. I think I'm going to have to make some decisions on those kitted items, what I really want to stitch and what I don't, and offload some of the ones that truly don't sing in my heart anymore, I guess. I have already done that with my WIPs, so all of my WIPs are WIPs. As you know, if you've been around here for a while, you know I did a WIP purge last year, and I de-kitted and rehomed some things that I knew I wasn't going to come back to. And so this time I'm going to go through these WIPs and I'm going to show you. And I'm going to ask for suggestions too on some pieces that I'm struggling with. So, yeah. I'm going to start with the bin of the items that I've worked on most recently. This WIP parade is not going to include all of my full coverage pieces because honestly, I've decided to narrow it down to 2 of them. I have too many of them. 2 of them to work on right now alternately, and then, and by full coverage, I mean my HAIDs. Full coverage like a HAID. I have other things like dimensions that are essentially full coverage. I'm keeping them in the mix. But as far as my big ticket HAIDs, I'm keeping 2 in the rotation for now, and if I ever finish one of them, I will bring one of my others into the rotation. But yeah, that's years down the road, to be quite honest, and yeah, that's just how I'm going to roll for now. I've been doing a Monopoly with Gail from Gail's Golden Needle, Tina from Tina Stitches, and Kim from Stitch and Stuff. So we've been doing some Monopoly stitching, so I think that's where I'm going to start. So my Monopoly roll this week was a sampler. And because I'm trying to focus on a finish, you're going to hear Ralph behind me because he hasn't left my side since we got back from the West Coast. We've been back 5 days, and he hasn't left my side. So you're going to hear him back here in his collar, so I apologize for that. My sampler stitch, I decided to pick Cooper, which is one I've started from Kathy Barrick. I am doing my own color conversion on this. I have this housed in a Black Cat Stitchery bag. I'm stitching this. Oh, let's see if I can remember. I may not be able to answer all questions. I just dropped something. On all projects, but this I'm stitching on 36 count Ren by Picture This Plus. And I am going to be putting stuff away as I do this. So if you have headphones in, hold please while I pick up this thing I dropped. Thank you. If you're in headphones and the zippers are going to bother you, I'm sorry. So this is where I am now, and I will try to insert a picture. Oh, hold on. Picture where it was during the WIP Parade. This is my own color conversion. If you're interested in my color conversion, please let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to give it to you. I haven't worked out all the details of the lower tail and what I'm going to do color-wise there, but I will definitely share this when I'm done. But that's my Monopoly stitch this week. So I have 2 projects that I'm concentrated on this week. That is one of them. Let me take this out of the hoop for right now. And these 2 projects, actually there's 3 projects, and they will go back up by my stitchy chair, but everything else is remaining down here. That's the other thing I'm trying to do, is unclog my stitching chair so that I don't have everything up there all the time. The second project I'm working on is my last one for the year in the woods. As you may recall, let me take this out of the plastic. As you may recall, I started this with Gail from Gail's Golden Needle quite a while ago. We started the series. We decided not to do the new series that's out. She has long since finished the series, and I have just been languishing on this beaver. I have no idea why. So that's why it's become a focus piece up at my chair. This is in a project keeper from Tiffany from Black Cat Stitchery. Made this for me as a gift for her letting her stay at my house, which she had no idea. She did not need to do that, but she made this for me. So it was a gift. And I've been working on the beaver. And here we are. I think I've loaded this onto Pattern Keeper, and I'm pretty sure I'm like at 80, I want to say it's like at 89%. Let's see if I can pull it up here real quick. Hopefully I'm putting in a picture. Yes, 89.27%. Hopefully I'm putting in a picture of where it was during my last WIP Parade. And so you see it right now. I'm on a mission with this tail. I keep coming over here and doing things in here and then coming back to fill in. I'm all ready to fill in the rest of the tail. So that's going back up at my stitching chair, and I might as well show you, the third project that's going up in my stitching chair today. If you've been around here for a while, you know what this is. This is Bonded by the Rain, artworks by Leonid Afremov. It is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. This was one of the very first Hades that I ever started. I still love it. I still think it reminds me of my husband and I. It is sitting at 9.58%. I am stitching this 1/2 tent. And let me take this one clasp off. On 25 count. It is not easy grid, and this is where I am. And I would love to be further along. I have worked on this year, and hopefully I'm finding a picture to put in here. I'm going to not keep saying that. We're just going to assume that if I have a picture from the WIP Parade, I will put it in. If I don't, chances are it was a new start this year. Okay? But those are going up to my stitching chair. Everything else that I'm showing you is remaining down here in my craft area. Until those are done, I'm hoping that I can fit those into my Monopoly prompts one way or another. Yeah, so I'm hoping. Let's see, what do we have here? Oh, this is a new start this year. I started this year because I got into a retreat at Hobby House Needleworks in May of next year. There are 3 designers at the retreat, one of them being Beth Twist, and I did not have anything in my stash from Beth Twist. I couldn't believe it. I was like, are you kidding? I really needed to. So I needed to start something. So I selected Thirsty Heart. I'm actually stitching this. Gail from Gail's Gold Needle is stitching this with me. It looks like I'm stitching this on, it's not called that anymore. What is it called? I'm doing this with stash threads, so it's not the called for. It's the fabric that changed names. Was it called Confederate Gray? And I don't have much done on that because, let me tell you, I started it. Oh, I'm going to uncover the label here in a second. I'm actually going to take this off the Q-snip because it's going to go back in its project bag. It is 40 count, and I believe it's Confederate Gray. Confederate Gray from Weeks Dye Works. This has now changed names. And I started it with the rose being this color. And see how it's washed? It's even washed out here. It is washed out in person as well, and I did not like that. I wanted more contrast. So I restarted it, and this is what it looks like now. So that is a new start this year. I'm going to throw these somewhere for that retreat in May. I'm looking forward to that retreat. It's a local retreat to me, Hobby House. Sorry, I keep going out of frame. Hobby House is my local needle workshop, so I am looking forward to that. And I'm going to toss these over there so I can put them back in my cupboard. This is in a bag made for me by my friend Kelly. The last bag was made by myself. This, I believe, is also a new start this year. I had kind of a time when I wanted to start all the things. This is Tiny Modernist Mushroom Forest. I'm stitching this on a piece of 18 count white Aida because I wanted something I could stitch in hand and easily. And this is where I am. This you won't see in my WIP Parade either, obviously. New start this year. What is this one? This is a bag made by myself. They were in my Etsy shop. I have since, this is also a new start this year. Also for that retreat at Hobby House Needleworks. This is a Stacy Nash. It is called Moon Moth Pin Keep. It was gifted to me on my birthday from some stitchy friends. I actually think it was Jen that gave me this. I started this on, it's 28 count Valerian, I believe. I'm trying to remember who it's from by. I don't remember. Did I write it down? And I'm doing it with the called for floss. Let me see if I can straighten this out for you. And not much of a start, but it's got a start. There you go. Right like that. And so I had that started for that retreat. This next one has a story, as most of mine probably do. So this is, I've been working on this quite a bit this year. I am putting it away right now because I have other things that I really need to work on. This is the Peacock Unicorn and a Badger by Scarlet Letter. I was stitching this on 40 count. I believe it was navy by Lakeside, navy being linen by Lakeside. I decided that in my lifetime, I am not going to stitch all that background, so I ended up getting a 40 count hand-dyed linen from Vicki Clayton, and it's called Pub Crawl, as you can see from me taking it off the cute snap. And I restarted it on that. And so this is where I'm at right now. Let me see if I can get this. I like stitching it on this linen. It looks good on this linen. And I'm going to keep going on this linen and not stitch that background. I really had a realization this year about just having way too many full coverage pieces that really, it was starting to become stressful for me and not enjoyable. So I think when your stitching evolves and, yeah, I think stitching evolves, and when you come to realizations, you just have to honor them. This next one I worked on very recently. I worked on this for Christmas in July. This is Kringles. I'm stitching it on the called for fabric with the called for threads. I got this from Fat Quarter Shop way back when it first came out as a kit. This is in a bag made by Black Cat Stitchery. I actually have made quite a bit of progress on this year, I think. Maybe I'm delusional. I guess you guys will see as much as I do when I put the before picture up. But I'd like to think I got some progress on it this year. I would love to pull this back out soon for some focus stitching. We will see how this goes with only having a few projects up at my chair. This also was one of my Monopoly stitches very recently. Sorry, you're going to hear some clicking because I'm putting the Q-snaps back together. This is, let me show you the picture. This is Southern Land by Owl Force Embroidery. I started this a long time ago. I probably have a card in here. When did I start it? Back in 2020. So it'd be really nice to get some of these older WIPs finished. And that's kind of where my head's going. Yeah, I don't remember when I started Cooper, but I'm stitching this on 36 count Edinburgh linen with the called for floss. Oh, I have a needle hanging. That's my MO right there. This is made in a bag by me. I'm not even going to show it to you because it was one of my early bags. It really is not very good. This is sitting at, I should look. because this is one of my Target pieces right now. So let me look real quick and see. I hear my rooster crowing. Too funny. Southern Land, where are you? There she is. She's sitting at 74.67%. That red square that you see down there is the bottom left corner. But there's still a lot of stitching in there, not gonna lie. But she is one of the ones, let me fold this the other way. She is one of the ones on my target for this year. I don't know, I have quite a few on my target, and I keep trying to remember we're already in August tomorrow. And I go back to work. We'll see. But I definitely have a kind of these heritage stitches, I call them, the older ones, that I want to get done with. The next one, while I get it undone, is Royal Holiday. This is a Mirabilia. This is the first Mira I ever started. And she is going to stay on the Q-Snap, mainly because I want her ready to go. But here she is. I'm not stitching her on that. I'm stitching her on Under the Sea linen. No, from Under the Sea Fabrics. Let's see if I have a card. I haven't done this in so long that I don't even remember what fabrics. When I was doing it every day, every week, I could remember the fabrics like it was nobody's business. And I don't have them. It's from Under the Sea Fabrics. If I remember it, I will put it down here. Let me take this bottom clasp off so you can get the full view. And sorry for all the threads, but this is how I roll. This is another one that's on my target for this year. We will see. I have gotten quite a bit done for her. Let me just check and make sure that's not anybody. I've gotten quite a bit done. I feel like I've gotten quite a bit done. I guess we'll find out when I put the before picture up. But she has her own bin, so she lives in her own little fabric bin, not a bag necessarily. And I want her ready to go when I want to stitch on her, so she will stay in this bin. She will stay down here, but she will stay in that bin. Let me just check my phone here. Okay, good. Water break. Moving stuff around. So this was a recent work on for me. If you've been around here for a while, you'll know that I've already started this. I have since restarted on different fabric. I am very happy with it now. It is currently in a hoop. I'm going to take it out of the hoop. I like two-handed, for those of you that haven't been around, I like two-handed stitching in my Lowry. However, when I can stitch in hand, I do. This is a Grace Notes fabric. I believe it's Mojito. It was a Fabric of the Month Club. This is Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. And I thought I might try to get a block done in July. That has not worked out as planned. But I did get close. Let me get this folded up. I had a little bit of a border issue. Had to go back and fix that because I thought, let me go stitch all the borders. Anybody that knows me knows I shouldn't be doing that. But here it is. My first block. It's coming away from my chair for right now just because I'm trying to focus. It's so easy to want to work on everything, right? Because I love them all. But it's definitely something that I would like to get more regular progress into. The pattern was on loan to me from a friend, so I would love to, get it done and return to her. I guess I could make copies. I'm going to save that and show it with her other one. This is also in a bag from Black Cat X Stitchery. I think I have worked on this year. This is a Nora Corbett. This is Electra. I am stitching this on a piece of fabric that I bought at a retreat. I think it was a Steel City Stitchers retreat that I went to with Tiffany from Black Cat X Stitchery. No, wrong. That's the other one. This is on Murky. This is on, looks like 32 count Murky from Picture This Plus. And hopefully I'm showing you a before picture. I have worked on her this year. This is, I believe it's called Majestic Lace by ABC. Works by ABC. Let me see if I got that right. Sorry for the sniffles and the clearing of the throat. Yes, it's called Majestic Lace, and it's works by ABC. This is a bag from Tiffany at Black Cat X Stitchery. You'll notice that it's a theme in my bags. Mainly because I belong to her quarterly bag club. I'm stitching this with the called for threads. It's on a piece of, it is Grace Notes fabric because I bought it at the Grace Notes retreat. It is 36 count Michelle. And I think I started it last year. And you'll see I got the complete outline done, and I've started filling in at the top. Enjoy working on it. It's stitched with floche. So those of you that don't know what floche is, let me show you. It's stitched with a combination of floche and then one strand of, is it 3865? I believe it is. There you go. Actually, it's all in floche. It's a combination of full cross and half cross. So let me show you that closer again so that you get a full idea of what that is. Let me just show you the little part that I've started to fill in, because I think there's half stitch and full stitch on there. There is. So let me show you again. Let me get this folded. Sorry, bear with me. And you'll see that I have extra fabric sewn to it. It's just so it can fit in the Q-snap the way I want it. But you can see full cross and half cross. And it looks beautiful. When I bought this pattern, I bought its sister pattern as well. That's called, let me see if I can, because I know I have it here. Her sister pattern is called Exquisite Lace. It's also Works by ABC. And so that's my next plan. And I believe that that's also stitched in floche. I haven't looked at it though, so yeah. All right. Guess who the bag's from? Tiffany from Black Cat Stitchery. I probably said her name. I'm going to stop saying. I'll say if it's somebody different. This is the 12 Days of Christmas Stockings. This is by Annie B's Folk Art. I have stitched the first one on 32 count chalkboard linen without the beads. So I have not sourced the beads yet, so I have not put the beads. Yeah. Totally enjoy those. You know, part of the reason I didn't want to do a WIP parade is because every time I do, then I want to just stitch on all the things, and that's just a problem. Guess who? This is Christmas Quaker. I am stitching this on 40 count Tyco linen. This is by Begone Stitches. I have another one by them that is in my stash. I really don't know if I've worked on this year or not. I'm stitching this in my own color conversion. I'm using DMC 935, Gentle Arts Gold Leaf, and Classic Colorworks Cherry Cowler. And this, I believe, is all I have. Yep. Love working on this too. I can usually stitch this on hand, in hand. 40 count I can usually stitch in hand. It's just about whether my hands feel like doing it or not, to be quite honest with you. And if you're somebody of my age group, you probably can relate. This is a bag made for me by Gail from Gail's Gold Needle. This is one of my Dimensions kits. This is Enchanted Ornament Stocking. I like the Dimensions kits. I know lots of people do not, but I do like them. I think that's because I grew up working on Dimensions kits. You'll see I have extra fabric on this one as well, because in lots of Park threads. This is where it sits. There. I have a little problem up here, counting issues, so these all have to be ripped out. So I'm just kind of working on it and then ripping out and working on it and ripping out. I'll have a mess to clean up when I'm done with this. This is Carolyn Manning. I have not worked on this at all this year. I know I haven't. Let me see if I can pull her up. I think it's Sea Glass. Nope, Northern Lights. I was wrong. Northern Lights by Carolyn Manning. It's done on 18 count white Aida. I'm using all the called for DMC. This is one of my early on project bags. Really not a great project bag. And I know I have not worked on this year, so I'm not even sure why I'm going to show it to you, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. That corner. This would have been easy travel stitching if I had taken it on my trip, but I did not. So, not sure why, but yeah. Okay, this is the first WIP that I'm going to ask questions on. This is a 2020 pandemic sampler. This was put out by Sarcy Girl. It was a free chart during the pandemic. I think she has it for sale now. I'm never drawn to this one, and I don't know why. It's on a beautiful piece of XU Design linen. Oh, do I have that in here? I don't think I do. And this is where I'm at. Maybe I just need to make an effort to pull it out for fall stitching and see if I can get back in. I do think that for some of these projects, part of my issue with the project is that I haven't taken the time to really spend with the project. So I noticed that when working on the beaver. Once I got back into working on the beaver, you get in kind of a mojo or rhythm of the piece, and it goes by a ton faster. The beaver will be done very soon. And so I'm going to stay with it until it's done. I think I just don't allow myself to do that very much. I think this is one of those pieces where it's beautiful linen. It's XJU design. I want to say, I don't know. I don't remember. It's a nice piece. I love it. Maybe I just need to hunker down and spend some time with it. This would have been a good one to pull out for sampler from Monopoly. So maybe if I hit sampler again, I will pull this out and spend some real time with it and see. This was another bag by Tiffany. Oh, let me get it closed. I don't know if this was a new start this year or last year. This is Wisdom by Teresa Kogut. Sorry, nose itch. Floss tube nose itch. I'm stitching this on Bee Stitch Me Macchiato 18 count Ada. This is where I'm at. There. These are kind of muted colors, so they're hard to show on camera. Like it. I don't know that I've stitched on it this year. I know I stitched on it last year at StitchCon in 2024. But honestly, beyond that, I don't recall if I've stitched on it or not. This is on one of my bags. It used to be in my shop. I did get some questions. I did shut down my Etsy shop. Lots of reasons. I was too busy to maintain the Etsy shop. I wasn't getting a ton of business to make it worth it. Yeah, so you might see some of my stuff going up on Instagram. But that was the other thing I did, was I kind of did a social media fast where I just came off of social media. Mainly because I get into this habit of mindlessly scrolling, and it's just a huge time suck. And I don't want to spend my life scrolling. So I have not been on social media that much. This is Strawberry Fields Forever by Blackbird Designs. This is being stitched on stash thread on a piece of Bee Stitch Me. I think it's just another sampler. Ada, not linen. But here's where I'm at. And I don't know that I've worked on that. I don't know if I've worked on it this year at all, to be honest. But there's that. Again, that's a piece on Ada that would have been easy for me to take on my trip. I did not travel with stitching in my trip at all. I traveled with knitting. So when we get to the knitting piece, you'll see more progress there as well. This is in an Air Force bag that my cousin made for me. This is one of the projects that I have worked on this year a little bit. This is Liberty's Welcome by Plum Street. I am using the called for thread, and I'm stitching this. Let's see if I have I believe it's a Grace Notes fabric. Hold on, let me see if I have that in here. It's the called for DMC mostly. If I had the, it's not, it's Forbidden Fiber Co. It is called Granite. I think that's right. Maybe it is. What was I saying? If I had the over-dyed threads, I am using them. If not, I'm using the DMC. And that's where I am. Appropriate that this is in my Air Force bag. This is in my Blue-Footed Boobies bag that I got when I did that kit from Lindy Stitches. This is a bag made by the 805 Stitcher. Housed in here is the Pandemic Sampler by Long Dog. It was free during the pandemic. It is for sale now. And this is what it will look like when it is done. Let me see if I can baby that for you. There are 1,000,001 long dogs that I would love to stitch. I need to get this one first. I haven't even bought another one. I'm stitching this on 40 Count Heritage by Picture This Plus with, I think it's Silks for You black silk. I have worked on this year. I don't know if it's been very much. Let me stow my needle here. I know I get comments from people all the time that I should not leave my needles in my needlework. I just do. That's how I roll. But here's where I am so far. This doesn't sit anywhere near like 1/4%. I don't even think. 1/4 done, I should say. Let me look. This sits at 11.49%, so we're not even 1/4 of the way there. But this is one that I would like to get a whole lot more work on this year. I did start this in 2020. So I think what I'm going to need to do is pull out my WIPs that I started in 2020 and just make them, you know, the focus. This next one is in another bag by Tiff. This is from my local needlework shop. This is Dasher and Dancer. I don't levitate to this one either, and I have no idea why. I'm stitching this on Stash Dive thread. This was started in 21. It's being stitched on 36 count cardinal, and like I said, with my Stash Dive threads. This is where I'm at. Let me put it down below, and maybe I can fit in the before above. I don't know that I've stitched on this at all this year, so you're probably going to see that I have not. Let me turn off my tablet before it dies, before I'm done with this video. But yeah, I'm still in love with all my projects. I need to be a little more monogamous, I think, and just spend some time. Oh, no, I just saw one that I don't like. Don't like how it's turning out. This one is Land That I Love by Teresa Kogut. Now, I've gone back and forth on this one. I can't even tell you how many times. I was going to end it before the houses. Excuse me. I've decided to just keep going because I love the piece. I'm stitching this on, let's see if I can find the card. I'm sorry, I should be more prepared. This also was started in 2020, July of 2020. It's on 40 Count Beach Brew by Picture This Plus. And I have worked on that this year. And I have threads hanging because that's how I roll. So if that's something that makes you anxious, I'm sorry. But this is where I am. And I've decided I love the piece, and I'm just going to keep going for its entirety. This one I have worked on this year too, or as well, I should say. I'm just not ever feeling this one either. So this is Christmas List by Silver Creek Samplers. I am using the Housewives conversion for this. I am stitching this on 36 count Neptune by Bee Stitch Me. And I actually, when I pull it out and look at it, I like how it's coming out. Things are so wrinkled. So I think I'm just going to have to keep going with it and plugging along. I had already done a fleshing out of my WIPs per se a long time ago, and this one just keeps remaining in the mix. So I think I just need to, again, spend some time, fall in love with it again, get my stitching mojo back with it. I don't think I've worked on this one at all. which is a darn shame. Oh, maybe I have. Maybe I have. We'll see. We'll see when I find the photo, right? This is Queen of Freedom. I'm trying to find the picture. But you guys all should probably know what Queen of Freedom looks like. There she is. Queen of Freedom, Mirabilia. This is being stitched on, this is, I believe, Constitution Linen by Primitive Hair, 30 count, with all the called for. And I don't remember if I've stitched on her this year or not. It might have been the end of last year. But this is where she's at. Hopefully I'm putting in a before photo from my WIP Parade. I'm curious. I'm going to be curious when I edit. Like, how much work have I actually gotten done? And I was tracking it for that reason. But honestly, tracking just became more work for me to do. And I just didn't, I don't know. This is a bag made for me by Gail from Gail's Golden Needle. This is a dimensions kit that I started, that I got it for $8.24 at Hobby Lobby when they were discontinuing their dimension kits. And I started it on a whim, and I have barely a start. But this is called A Treasured Time. I'm stitching it on the kit fabric with the kit floss. It's a new start, so you're not going to see a before picture, and you can barely see because they're half stitches. So that's that. I have more dimensions kits in my stash. This is another bag by Tiff. This is a Bothy Threads kit that I bought quite a while ago. I want to say it was at the first Steel City Stitchers retreat that I went on. I'm stitching it with all of the kit items, as I generally do with the kits. Every time I've strayed away from things on the kits, it's never worked out well for me, so I tend to try to stay with the kits. This is Bothy Threads. This is called Mother Duck, which I got because I'm often referred to as a mother duck. So, in my life, and then it's a euphemism that we use at the college as well, nursing school. I think I've worked on this year, but I don't know. Let me see if I can, there. That baby is completely done, and then I started working on the mama. I'm almost there. I'm kind of surprised. Well, we're almost an hour in. This is going to be a long video, and I go back to work tomorrow. And then the cast. This is one of my older bags, so I'm not even going to show you. What is this? Oh, I don't think I've worked on this. I have not worked on it all this year. But I'm still going to show it to you. I think I have it on Pattern Keeper. I don't even remember. This is awful. I don't remember the name of this pattern even. It's one I started with Tiffany from Black Hat X Stitchery. Where is it? Oh, here it is. It's called Halloween Chateau. It is by Twin Peaks Primitive. Oh, where'd it go? Twin Peaks Primitive. I am stitching this on 36 count Sonatina from Grace Notes. It's beautiful fabric. And I know I haven't stitched on this at all this year. Can you even see? There. No, I know I haven't stitched on this at all. And it probably needs to be transitioned into a better bag. Maybe one from Tiffany that I have over there. This is another mirror. This is Lady of the Flag. This pattern was gifted to me by a stitchy friend that I met at Stitch North. And I started it with her. And I started it in the Lady of the Flag, Statue of Liberty conversion. And I decided that I didn't want that because I wanted her to be up next to my Queen of Freedom. So I restarted her in her normal colorway. And I don't remember if that was this year or last year. It's stitched on the called for fabric with the called for threads. I don't remember if I've worked with her this year. Maybe. Tiffany. This is Tree of Hope. This is a Nora Corbett. This is the one stitched on a piece of fabric that I split with Tiffany from Black Cat X Stitchery at the second Steel City Stitchers retreat that I went to. I'm stitching it, I don't know if I have the thread name. Did I write down the thread name? 32 Count Paris by Grace Notes. I'm stitching it with the called for, and I do think I've worked on this year, but I couldn't tell you. But there you go. This is the other thing where I really need to sit with projects long enough to get a mojo, and I think they would, because I'm a pretty fast stitcher, I think that they would go by fairly quickly if I just did that. And I'm just reinforcing my own thoughts on that. This is in a bag that I made a long time ago. This probably also needs to be transitioned to another bag. This is Autumn Town. This is by Autumn Lane Stitchery. I am stitching this on 36 Count Valor by Picture This Plus. I wonder where this sits. I don't know if I've stitched, I think I have stitched on it this year, but who knows? Because as we can tell, I can't remember what I've stitched on and what I haven't stitched on. Where is it? Why can't I find it on here? I know I'm stitching it in Pattern Keeper. Excuse me. Interesting. I can't find this on Pattern Keeper, but this is where it sits now. That's a little concerning to me. It has to be on here. Oh, it's right there. This sits at 56.80%. And hopefully I'm putting a before picture up so I know where I stand. This is in one of my very old project bags. This is another, I just saw that on here. This is another, oh my goodness. This is another Carolyn Manning. This is called Halloween Hijinks. I'm stitching this 1/1 on a gray 25 count linen by Witch Out. And I actually think it's an even weave, not a linen. I have not stitched on this at all this year, and I still have the same little start that I had last year. 1/1. I just want to check my phone and make sure nothing major is going on. No, nothing major. Okay, good. All right, this is the fungi sale that I've been working on with Tina from Tina Stitches, Gail from Gail's Golden Needle. It came out in several parts. It is from Under the Rainbow. I am not going to show you the patterns because they all come out in parts, but I can show you I had I have worked on that this year. As you guys know, I have the cover completely stitched, so that is done and ready to go. Sorry, my computer just wanted to go to sleep. Let's show it to you right side up. Right? And then I've gotten 1, 2, 3 pages done. So we've got those 2 down below, and I have this one here. Yeah. I have a section on the Monopoly board that's called Sale, and usually I try to pull this out then. This is in a bag from Fat Quarter Shop that I got years ago, probably now. Alright, I only have 3 more cross-stitch projects to show you. This one is, what is this one? This is Live on Little. This was gifted to me by Gail from Gail's Golden Needle. This is being stitched with the called for floss. And I want to say, okay, it's on 36 count Attic Lace by Lakeside Linen. And I want to say I have worked on that this year. Very recently, actually. Park threads again. But here you go. This is where I am. So hopefully I made some progress on that this year. Time flies so fast that I don't know about you guys, but I don't remember what I worked on always. I guess that's why I should track it, but I'm trying to just enjoy it. I track enough stuff at work. I don't really want to track everything else. So this one I don't think I worked on at all this year. This one is a chatelaine. It is Evening in the Park. I do not have a picture of this, I don't believe, in here. Nor do I have one on my tablet because it comes in sections. I'm stitching this on a 32 count witch out linen that was hand dyed by me. Again, I have not worked on this year. Yeah. But I'll show you. This is where it's at. And that's in a bag by Tiffany from Black Hat Stitchery. And my final stitching project is my other chatelaine, which lives in its own container. This is my Mushroom and Fern. Do I have a picture of it? I do. I have my own little tote over here for this one. This is Mushroom and Fern by Chatelaine. I'm stitching this on 21 count Mushroom Lugana with all the called for threads. This one I sourced all the threads myself. Evening in the Park, I bought the kit from European Cross Stitch, so that ought to tell you something. I have gotten progress this year. This one's not easy to show. And here we are. Let's see if I can come forward. I don't know if I'll be able to fit the before in with this. But I'll try. And that is my last cross stitch project. So we're going to quick go through the knitting. And if you're still hanging on, thanks for hanging on. What is this? Nothing. So let me just pull my knitting over. I do have a finish. I have several finishes actually. I finished my ranunculus. So this is my ranunculus. I wore this when I was out on the west coast on my trip. I got it done in block before I went. Totally enjoyed it. I totally love the sweater. It is comfortable. It's everything I want it to be, and I'm probably going to end up knitting another one. see if I have 2 other finishes. I have, this is a pair, I still have to weave in the ends and take off the markers. But this is a pair of coral reef socks from 3 by the Sea Designs. Well, they're vanilla socks by Kay at the Crazy Sock Lady, but they're done, I believe, in coral reef by 3 by the Sea. And these are the Hocus Pocus socks. This is, I'm trying to remember the pattern by Kay by the Crazy Sock Lady. But those are done. And those are my finishes for knitting. Now, let's figure out how to show. So I have been working on my Coziest Memories blanket, and I don't remember the last time I showed it to you. So I am going to show it to you now. This is the Coziest Memories. The pattern is free, and I believe it's by Kemper Ray. I have been putting squares in, so I've got 3 rows up to here. And then I need to keep going. I have not worked on this a ton lately, but, you know, colder weather's coming, so I will be wanting to work on that. I have worked on my anthology throw as well. A little bit. This is really hard to show because it's so large now and I don't have long enough needles to open it up. But you can see it's kind of, I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm working on my 9th color for this, and this is going to be anthology throw. Who is this by? Hold on, I'll tell you. Anthology throw. See if I can pull it up real quick for you. It's a free pattern. Here it is. I have to get back to the, by Helen Stewart. So let me show you. Curious Handmade, free pattern. I have worked on that for a bit. That's in a project bag that I made. I had these in my shop as well, but that's that. Let's see. I started, you can tell I'm getting over videoing, right? Because, yeah. I started an Emotional Support Chicken. This is also a free pattern by the Knitting Tree. Emotional Support Chicken. I am up to the neck. I'm doing this out of some stash yarn that I had. I'm actually making this for my granddaughter, but I'm up to shaping the neck. So here I've got the 2 sides of the body, and I'm into shaping up for the neck. This is also in one of my knitting bags that I've made. These were in my shop as well. So there's that. I also, when I finished my sweater, I started a shawl by Stephen West. It is called Pierre. And it's a gradient here. I pulled yarn out of stash. So let me move this. I pulled yarn out of stash. So I had, this is a Knit Picks. This is color 1. This is a DK Yarn of the Month Club from Hypnotic Yarns. Then this was left over from a pair of socks I just made for my son-in-law, which is also a finished pair of socks since last time you saw me. I have not, if I have a picture, I will post it here so you can see the socks. And then this is leftover yarn from the sweater that I made last year. So I pulled out a stash. I'm up to color 2. I started this, I know it's on my Ravelry. Ravelry is Mimi Stitchery. it is, let me put these patterns back where they belong. I think I started this 2 days before I left for my West Coast trip. I started this and socks to have on my trip. Socks I'll show you in a minute. But here's where I'm at. Let me see if I can show this to you. It's getting too long to show, but you can kind of see here if I... It's very pretty. The light is kind of blowing it out, but it's very pretty. It has these little triangle repeats, twisted rib. Wasn't really a huge fan of the seed stitch. I have to agree with Lisa of 72 Stitches. Seed stitch is hard in the hands, and I'm now into an eyelet row here. But I'm looking forward to continued work on that. This will probably, I don't know if this or the socks I started will become my work project, but knitting is always now becoming my work project. So that's that. And I have this is not, that's not a project, that's a put away. I have 2 pairs of socks that I started for my trip. This is, oh no, I lost some stitches in here. Hold on, hold please. I'm going to have to fix this later, I'm afraid. I should really put needle stoppers on my socks. This is, let me get the yarn out here. Let's get this out of here. This is the colorway Seashells by 3 by the Sea Design. The pattern is Vanilla Bean Socks by Kate, the Crazy Sock Lady. And I need to separate these two now, I think. Sorry. This is the colorway. And this is the sock, the way it's working up. This is sock number 1. The second pair of socks I started was from Legacy Fiber Arts. It's Mermaid's Tail, Legacy Fiber Arts. This is yarn I had in stash quite a while ago. And this I also need to put needle stops on. This is also in the Vanilla Bean. Let me show you the colorway. The Vanilla Bean pattern. Oh, I do have needle stoppers in here. I just didn't put them on. That's interesting, isn't it? And did I show you the sock yet? Vanilla Bean. And so I didn't get a ton done on these socks, but I got some done. Let me put the stoppers back on so I don't lose any more stitches. And I had both of them in one bag because it makes it easier for traveling, but I think now I'm going to separate them into 2 different bags, and we could kind of go with that. And I think that's it. If you've hung around for this entire video, thank you so much. As soon as I can get it edited and up, I will do so. That could take me a few days with going back to work, but I go back to work one day and then I'm on a weekend, so and we'll see how this cold goes. Right now it's not so bad, it's just kind of annoying, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. But thank you for sticking around. Thank you for supporting me. For those of you that have reached out, thank you for doing so. I am just fine. I'm just trying to prioritize life a little bit as I get older. Things like when my grandkids show up, being completely present for them. And just, you know, spending time with family and how important that's become to me as we start to lose some of them has just hit home with me this year and resonated. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for going through all the WIPs. If you have any suggestions for any of my WIPs, please put them in the comments below. Please do not tell me I need to focus on a project and get it done, because I know. But I'm also trying to enjoy my craft. And so as things get stressful, my plans may change. My crafting adjusts to what I need it to do at the time. And that's how I've always lived it. That's how I want to continue to live it. And that's the whole purpose of my crafting. So if you have problems finishing items, please resonate with me down below in the comments. I'd love to interact with you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for continuing to support my channel. And I'll see you soon.